We often use artificial intelligence more often than we think, such as when we're on Netflix and we get a suggestion that says something along the lines of, you may also like the following TV shows or movies. Or what if you're shopping for something, let's say a shirt, and at the bottom you get a suggestion that says something along the lines of, people who bought this shirt also bought this pair of jeans or these shoes or this belt, almost like it's putting an outfit together for you. Or my favorite is the Google Maps notification. So let's say you go to the gym every day at 5 p.m. Now, regardless of whether you use Google Maps to get to the gym, if you have your location on and you go consistently enough, then at one point, when you get in your car at 5 p.m. to go to the gym, you'll get this notification on your phone or on your watch that says something like 10 minutes to your destination, light traffic. Now, these are things that we're all really familiar with, and it would almost be abnormal to not see these things. But are we familiar with the Kansas City 2030 plan? It's a plan designed to create an inclusive, vibrant, and sustainable Kansas City by the year 2030. A city that not only Kansas Cityans would be proud of, but the ideal city for all. Now, I'm only going to talk about three of the many topics listed in the plan for the sake of time, and how artificial intelligence can be used to assist them. So, let's jump right in. So, the first topic, whoops, is efficient transportation. Now, what the plan means by efficient transportation is taking the streetcar out of downtown and expanding it to the surrounding east and west neighborhoods. Neighborhoods such as the West Bottoms or 18th and Vine, the Jazz District. Neighborhoods that hold a lot of cultural significance to Kansas City and put Kansas City on the map in the early and mid 20th century. Now, over time, as downtown began to grow, you started to see this unequal distribution of capital and investment, a lot of which was going to downtown and enough of which was going to the surrounding neighborhoods. And what started to happen in these neighborhoods was it started experiencing things such as lack of job growth, a lack of housing, and a lack of basic amenities. So, how can we use AI to help with this? Well, the 2030 plan wants to expand the streetcar. So, we can create an urban planning development model where AI leverages real time traffic data to build the most efficient routes and stops to include these neighborhoods. Furthermore, it can also do a cost breakdown. So it can break down the cost of, let's say, labor and materials when it's time to start expanding the streetcar and laying down track. It can also give you potential, it can also show you potential roadblocks that may occur when planning out the route. So let's say in the route there's a highway or an overpass. It might be able to tell you something along the lines of, if it's better to just build under the overpass, or it'll go about crafting a different route for you to include these neighborhoods. And over time, as the streetcar becomes more established in these east and west neighborhoods, what you'll start to see is they'll become more connected with downtown. So you'll start to have more traffic coming into these neighborhoods, and as a result, you'll start to have the flow of capital and investment that will help these neighborhoods grow. Now, the next topic I'm going to refer to is transformative strategies. Now, this section covers on how to implement the 2030 plan. And I'm specifically going to talk about jobs, economy, and recovery. Now, the 2030 plan has this theme of uplifting the people of Kansas City, especially in underserved areas. And it takes an approach to urban development that will correct the issues of urban development in the past in the city. Issues that cause things such as gentrification, segregation, and as we mentioned, an uneven distribution of resources to the surrounding neighborhoods. The effects of which can be seen in the form of poor K through 12 education, and even poor internet infrastructure, which creates this lack of access to information. Now, how can AI help with this? So we can create the economic development dashboard. And what this does is AI will take real-time market analysis and resource allocation data and give suggestions to city planners and developing agencies on how to best allocate those resources in these neighborhoods. So, for example, it might say the resources, 50% of the resources should be used to revamp K through 12 education, and the other 50% should be used to and the other 50% should be evenly distributed to improve things such as roads and poor infrastructure, or building libraries and community centers, or new parks and recreation. Furthermore, we can create a job development dashboard. Now, on this dashboard, you can take what AI will do is it will take the residents' skill sets and match it to job requirements and give them job recommendations, thereby helping to close the large unemployment gap experienced by these underserved communities. And the last topic I'm going to refer to is the Innovation District. Now, the Innovation District is designed to be a center for creativity and entrepreneurial energy. And right off the bat, we can use AI to pinpoint the best location to build the Innovation District, one that takes certain factors into account, such as accessibility. Is it accessible to everybody in Kansas City, including those who rely on the streetcar as their primary mode of transportation? It can also take into account if it's a central location that allows for easy partnership with local institutions such as universities. Now we're going to continue on this theme of the 2030 plan where we're uplifting the residents of Kansas City, especially those in underserved communities. And we can do that with the Innovation District, right? Because the Innovation District isn't designed to be a place for certain companies or people of certain capital, but rather it's designed to be a place that's accessible to everybody. It's designed to be a place where people can come and contact investors, set up meetings with them, and pitch their idea to raise venture capital. It should be easy for people to come and talk to an accelerator to start getting their business idea going. It should be easy for them to find collaboration spaces within the Innovation District that allows for them to brainstorm the next big idea that's going to change the world. The Innovation District is designed to be a place for equal opportunity and equal access. Now, you've probably been doing, just like Netflix or just like the websites you shop on or just like Google Maps, you've probably been studying a pattern here, which is we're building a bunch of apps, right? And these apps are not just, your simple Instagram or I don't know, Angry Birds or Temple Run. I guess I haven't played a game on my phone since 2010. I'm referring to those apps, but they're data-driven apps that leverage real-time data to give you the best possible outcomes and suggestions. So how do we go about building these apps? Well, it requires a committee. And here's the creative name I came up for our committee. The Kansas City Artificial Intelligence Committee. Super creative, right? But what this committee has to do is they have to work concurrently with the steering committee of the 2030 plan so that we can map out a timeline to release these apps concurrently with the action items that are being executed on the plan. The committee also has to hire people to build the app. So we have to hire project managers, mathematicians, software developers, and even statisticians who do large amounts of data collection and surveys. Because these apps are for the people of Kansas City. So it only makes sense that your inputs and suggestions are taken into consideration when building these apps, so as not to come up with a creative idea like this. Now, you've probably been wondering, what about ethics in AI? Now, the more data you feed an AI model, the smarter it gets. But what we don't want to do is end up making the mistakes that certain big tech companies have made in recent times, such as taking your personal data and inappropriately using it to profit off of. We want to give people an opportunity to share the data that they feel like sharing and opt out of sharing any personal data that they don't want to. Because AI it's man-made, it's made by humans, it's prone to making mistakes. So it wouldn't be surprising if we make an app that accidentally glitches, right? Just like ChatGPT. ChatGPT continues to glitch. And here's some examples of the type of information that gets released when ChatGPT glitches. For example, proprietary company information. Now, if that company's competitor sees that proprietary information, they can use that as an unfair advantage in the marketplace, or accidentally releasing your social security number, which compromises your identity. Now, what if the app we make is biased and it pinpoints a location to build an innovation district that is not accessible to people in underserved areas? So that's why we have to work with local policymakers to craft legislation to keep our artificial intelligence in check. Now, I think this talk is being given at a really good time, especially since ChatGPT was released almost a year ago. So everyone in this room is at least a little familiar with interacting with AI. And surely you can see that AI has a lot more benefits than it does negatives. So let's leverage AI and let's use it to not just create the ideal city, but a city we can all call home. Thank you.